Welcome back to Cheche, the program where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV. We're talking to Dr. Alfred Mutua, the governor of Machakos County, and you have been first off the mark with your budget, raising investment. What do you think separates you from the other 46 governors who might be watching you now as we speak?
I think I have an added advantage. So I think the rest of my colleagues are very good at what they do. But I have about 4 advantages. The first advantage is the proximity of Machakos to Nairobi. That allows us actually to do things a little bit faster and to benefit. The second one is that I have within my county people who are easy to manage. I don't say that other people are hard to manage, but my Machakos citizens are easy to manage. It's easy to reason with them, work with them much faster. My county assembly is very, very, very supportive. The third thing is that I have the big advantage that I worked in government, at the echelon of government, in office of the president, cabinet office with President Kibaki, Ambassador Mudaura. I know how government is organized. I know the pitfalls of government. I know the challenges. I was there in policy direction. So I know the intricacies and some of the pitfalls. So I have that other advantage. And the fourth advantage is because I have a different mindset, and that is that when you die and people come to your funeral, they don't talk about what you wanted to do. They talk about what you did. So you're not judged by all your aspirations and dreams. You're judged by action.
You're already thinking about legacy preservation.
No, not about me. I'm thinking about my people.
Right.
My people for a long time have been told we will do, we will do, we will do. Now it is about time to actually do, and only talk about it after you have done. That is why I don't talk about that we'll provide ambulances. I'm telling you, ambulances have been ordered, they are coming, they are on the ground. Nobody knew about the tractors until we launched them. We don't talk about what we just want to do.
And the police
we
cars
actually,
as well.
And we've got the police cars also.
Is it just that your people are gullible, or you're just dazzling them so they have to keep going because Alfred, you know, has many ideas and speaks fast before they realize you built these things on them?
No.
Because
it's because my people, as you've done businesses in Ukambani, it's because my people have been so poor for so long. My people have seen it all. If you're doing the research in the University of Nairobi today, and you want to do research where you can get what is called unbiased opinion, you do it in Machakos. Why? Because our people give opinion based on what they see as the truth. Our people are tired of waiting. Our people are tired of being lied to. Our people are tired of being taken for granted.
You say that, but during the campaigns, I do know that your people organized themselves and made sure that all the candidates came and presented their ideas to them and rated them from presentation to the strength of their ideas to even how they conducted themselves. To what extent has that narrowed the gap between you as an executive and the public that you serve? Because that's often a huge challenge in Africa and other
I think what is very important, that actually helped, because we, in Machakos, use a participatory model. So everything we're doing from the city, we take it to 190. And we went to the ground, to basically every ward and location, and talked to members of the public, and they chipped in. This is what we want to see. As you do this is what we want to see. And it's amazing what people want to see. You ask them what should be in the new city, and what should
and what did they want?
And flow. People want mortuaries.
Okay.
It's amazing. People are tired of going for 5 hours or 3 hours on bad roads to bring their loved ones to take them home. People, is the things people are asking for. So what you're doing is we are responding
what
to
else?
the needs
It's
of
quite
people.
Interesting to hear that.
Yes.
What, they ask for mortuaries.
They ask
what
for
else?
mortuaries. They ask for education programs for the children, especially ECD. These nursery schools, early childhood development, nursery schools. They're asking for roads, and they're not asking. They don't want big roads. They just want to be able to come from here to there. Access the feeder roads, to be able to go feeder roads. They want a solution to the high unemployment rate of the young people just sitting at home and eating miraa everywhere in Machakos. It's a very, very big problem.
Machakos, as you just said, doesn't have a lot of wealth, to be precise. There's a lot of poverty there.
It has a lot of wealth, but the wealth has not actually been utilized.
Been tapped. That is, it has potential. Let's call it that way.
Yes.
But the potential, the capacity of the local people to exploit that potential is very minimal.
I don't think it is very minimal. if people are given a challenge
if they don't
and
have
they are
the money
shown
to exploit that potential,
yes.
Isn't that a fact? Yes.
Well, they don't have as much money, but you see what the state can do. It can provide an enabling environment.
Yes, yes.
You know, businesses don't grow just because people have money. It's because you're able to support the growth of that business.
Yes.
By providing infrastructure, by providing access
yes,
to information and empowering the people.
Yes.
Ask your question.
Which is a process that you and I agree, Alfred, takes a while, right?
Yes.
It doesn't take 4 years. It is not a fast food scenario where you create a city in 4 years. Where I'm heading is this.
Yes.
It's all okay to bring development to a people, to a local environment. But the question is, what is the local ownership of that whole development? So that you don't just have development here, but of foreigners investing. So that we basically...
So that we don't see a situation like what we're seeing in Turkana.
There are no Akamba people actually involved in this development. You brought all of us from outside, you know, the Mluyas, the Arabs, all of us have come in to put the money here, but the Machakos people have nothing in it, except they're employed there. The land is being used
in
to...
low-level jobs.
You know, that's what I mean.
I think it's talking about, in communication, talk about the diffusion theory, whereby you just come and show people, and you hope that they're going to get it, and then you go away with the money. No, what you're doing is this. We've structured, that's why I said it's about wealth creation. You need to empower the people from the village. We have sat down with several banks, and we have organized facility, because even the big business people who come in don't use their own money. They get loans. And so we've worked with a bank that has agreed to 300 million, another one 500 million, another one about 2 billion, to actually provide the funds to our people at very low interest
so
rates.
There's going to be local participation. That's the whole point.
Local participation has to be over 60%.
Right, but you're not quite answering the question that we're trying to get answered, which is that you may have 60% of your locals employed, but are they employed at low-level jobs? How do you scale up their skills so that they too can own, so they too can be executives, so they too can be the managers of these industries that are coming their way? And
that's why I say that we are actually providing facility for loans. So they don't get employed, they actually start employing their people because they own.
But at what level? I mean, look,
but
Alfred, loans are not easy to come from banks, and you require a lot of collateral. You need sufficient backup to actually get even $1 million bob from a bank.
Yes, yes.
So these projects you're talking about are all mega. They are, hundreds of millions. What is the capacity of the Machakos people, local residents, to actually partake of this development?
What we're doing is this. We're looking at what people have, and we're encouraging them to form partnerships with others. Because kama hauna, you don't just say that because I don't have, I'm just going to sit and let, and then kick out everybody who has. And we have to remember this. My people of Machakos understand that the wealth that is being brought to Machakos will remain in Machakos. But we are not just creating for Machakos. We're also creating for Kenya. This is a bigger country than just the Kamba people in Ukambani. And my people realize that Kenya, Machakos is part of Kenya. We are part of the bigger dream of this great country of ours. So if Machakos grows, Uasin Gishu grows, you look at Kisumu grows, Turkana grows, Mandera grows, Tharaka Nithi, you find the whole country grows. It becomes like the US. And then you find now they'll be begging us to get visas to go to the US.
Yes.
Because we are not going there anymore to look for jobs. We have our own money here and our own jobs here. So we need to not be minimalistic in the way we look at it. It's for Kenya. Yeah. And that is what is driving me. We look at the bigger picture. But your point is well made.
Yes.
This city, to what extent is the ownership of people in Machakos?
This city, we are looking at it at about 30 to 35% of the actual city will be owned by people who you can say were born in Machakos. But if you add people born in the Ukambani region and the surrounding regions, including Kajiado, it comes to over 50%.
Okay.
The so-called, I don't want us to start thinking in terms of there are people from within and they are foreigners. Because in Kenya, there are no foreigners. No. If Mutegi here has made his money, he wants to come to Machakos to put up a factory, I'm not going to kick him out and say this is for the Kambas because you're a Meru. No, that is the problem we've had since independence. If you go to the US and you're growing California, they don't care whether you come from California or whether you're born in New York or Texas. You are an American.
Yeah.
And that is what we need to do, because
we're not looking
at the end of the day, the growth that Mutegi will bring to Machakos will translate into a better quality of life for my children in Machakos.
Right. The balance of messages we're getting from our viewers are positive. Everyone loves what you're doing. But there are a couple of questions. Your Excellency, you haven't obtained relevant documentation for the project. For instance, you haven't obtained a strategic environmental assessment from NEMA, and the earliest you can get that is within 3 months. Aren't you flouting the law? And that came from Mboya in Nakuru.
I think Mboya needs to come to Machakos and realize what we've done. We've been working on this for about 7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months. Do you have the environmental assessment?
We already have started the process. We already have started the process of what is called urban planning. There's actually a law that sets out. You don't just wake up and build a city. No. You need to follow the procedures. We've been engaging from the word go. We've been doing things properly from the word go. But we've also been pushing the envelope. We've said, if, for example, it takes a week to process something, why should it take 6 months where it can be done in a week? Give it to us in a week, we move on, because we are competing with other cities.
Let me ask you, Alfred.
You're competing with Singapore, you're competing with other places, and people realize that.
I look at the blueprint. I mean, you know, a city is a process. It grows.
Yes.
You know, you cannot say, I'm going to create a city here, because otherwise you'll end up with buildings that have no functions, no occupants, and no activity going on. Then you end up with a white elephant. You have scheduled that a city, Machakos City, is going to be in place in 4 years. I see a miracle in that. Because a city grows out of activities, and we know from history, from our education, that you don't create a city, because otherwise you can put a
Rome was not built in a day.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Let me tell you, you have to look at the paradigm of development all over the world. And I totally agree with you, David. Things don't just happen overnight. We've said that we want all our investors within 18 months to 2 years to start operating, because it is that operation that now will bring the people and the growth that is need to sustain. A few years ago, when the city of Dubai decided to come up from the desert, from the sand, the same arguments that you're giving were given. When Singapore decided to turn around, when Hong Kong decided to become a mega city, the same arguments were given. Rome was not built in a day. But look at Dubai today. Dubai is getting 100 million tourists a year. 100 million tourists a year. And this has been done within 10 years. 10 years, you have this mega. So we have to change the paradigm. Just because it has always been like that, we've been shown that
you've done a lot of procurement. You've procured ambulances, tractors, whatever. There was an issue about the procurement procedures.
Yes.
Are you fulfilling those? There was an issue about your second-hand vehicles.
I think those are political issues. What usually happened is this. What we did, we looked at the law. There is nowhere in the law that says you need to procure brand new vehicles. It is just expected that the government always buys brand new from the dealers. And then I look around and I say, wait a minute, Mutegi Njao, maybe I'm wrong, because I can't afford to buy brand new cars myself.
I buy used cars.
You buy used cars. You buy used cars. Majority of people in Kenya are using used cars. You buy a used car, you have it for 10, 15 years. Why, just because you're in government, should be entitled using taxpayers' money of poor people to drive brand new cars?
Okay, point
so
made.
What we did is we bought second-hand vehicles, but we followed the procedure. You go through what does the procurement law says when you're purchasing something? A, B, C, D.
Excellent. I'm going to rush this along just because you know there's a lot we need to cover and there's a lot of feedback coming in for you. There was a question here from Mutua in, I think, Bungoma. Dr. Harry, from your explanation, still on procurement, most procurements done in your county seem to be direct. Are you observing the PPDA of 2005? What is your opinion on the procurement laws of Kenya vis-a-vis the development of counties? Very quickly, please.
There's a big challenge, and we will have to change the law. The good thing is that the Constitution gives sweeping powers to the county assembly, just the way it gives to Parliament. What is the challenge? The challenge is the procedures that have been set there have actually enabled people to actually eat money. These long procedures enable people to eat money, not actually save money. For example, you find that the procedures say you have to get it from the lowest bidder. So if this pen of mine, if I can get it at a supermarket at 20 shillings, the lowest bidder in a government procurement may be selling the same pen or a glass of water for 500 shillings. And because it's the lowest bidder, we go ahead and buy it. In Machakos, we say we can't do that. And so what you're saying is that we need to change the law. So it's not just about the lowest bidder, it's about the best value. But the law also allows us to have what is called a reserve price. So you say, you can get this at 2 shillings, so you increase it a reserve price of 50 cents. So whoever gets to us below 2 shillings and 50 cents, ambulances, my county assembly voted for 2 million shillings per ambulance. They said we can't get it. We asked for bids. People were told you can't quote over 2 million. People over 2 million were disqualified. It was open tender. We're buying ambulances at about 1.7, 1.8 million per ambulance, well-equipped, brand new, that is actually being used in different parts of this country. So
we have to take a break now, but a quick question. Dr. Alfred, I love your ideas. They're great, in fact, grand. However, my worry is that the 10th Parliament abolished the colonialist 999 years land lease. You're proposing an infinite lease on Machakos land, town city council. Could it be that Machakos County residents are gullible and fall for your eloquence and your bedazzlement?
No. You can't just give a long-term lease. You know, everything is being managed by the National Land Commission.
Right.
It is not Mutua doing it. There is a law and a way of doing this. Because even before, I can't just even say I'm going to give land. The National Land Commission has to reserve that land legally as per the Constitution for use for investors. So there's a process that has been followed. So we've not been sleeping. We've been going through the process. That's why I say I have an added advantage. I was in government. When most of these laws were being formulated, I was there. So I understand some of these things. I don't actually have to read them.
Okay.
Finally, on the issue of procurement, because it's very important, I'm very, very grateful to President Uhuru's government, because when they came in, what President Uhuru's government did with Waziri Rotich was to cut down the period of procurement. So from the time you do an expression of interest to the time you award a tender has been cut down to 35 days. That means that within 35 days, you can actually procure a road to be done. 35 days.
Okay.
That is going to change Kenya.
We'll take a break now, but this thought from Cheche and Mombasa. Governor Mutua, your enthusiasm and diligence in setting up social economic development framework for Machakos County is admirable. Keep the spirit burning.
Thank you.
You're watching Cheche, the program where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV with His Excellency Dr. Alfred Mutua, Governor of Machakos County. We'll see you after the break.